Yes, welcome to part 2 of the life of SMS Prinz Eugen. I first gotta say that I probably need to put this in 3 parts instead of 2 because now I realize that the history of SMS Prinz Eugen is bigger than I thought. But don't worry, I will make the 3rd part if I need to, but I probably need to because that there's a lot of text about SMS Prinz Eugen's history. Last time I stopped the documentary by saying that Italy declared war on Germany and Austria-Hungary in May 1915, so we are gonna continue from that. Enjoy the video. Germany's and Austria-Hungary's negotiations with Italy about Italy joining the war as the member of Central Powers failed. In Central Powers belonged Germany, Austria-Hungary, Ottoman Empire and Bulgaria. These negotiations with Italy failed. Italians negotiated with Entente for Italy's entry into the war and that they would be on their side in the Treaty of London, which was signed in April 26, 1915. Finally, on May 4, 1915, Italy ended its alliance with Germany and Austria-Hungary. Before that even happened, Italy warned Austria-Hungary that they might drift into the war against them. Because of this, House was preparing to move the Tegethoff-class ships to the Adriatic Sea, in a massive strike against the Italians soon after their alliance with them. The Italians declared war on these 2 countries 3 weeks after the alliance was ended. The entire fleet of Austro-Hungarian Navy, including Prinz Eugen, Viribus-Unitis and Tegethoff and Szent István, were sent to bombard the Italian coast. Several ships bombarded the secondary targets and at the same time other ships were deployed to south to look for Italian ships and do perhaps what? These Italian ships could steam to north of Taranto into the core of Austro-Hungarian fleet, with the lead of Prinz Eugen and her 2 sisters headed towards Ancona to bombard it. The bombardment of Ancona's province in question was a great success for the Austro-Hungarian fleet. In that bombardment, an Italian steamship was destroyed and 3 other vessels were badly damaged in the port of Ancona. The buildings of the port of Ancona and the town around it were badly damaged. The railway yard and the port facilities were destroyed or heavily damaged, while the local shore batteries tried to defend them were completely destroyed. The bombings of the Austro-Hungarian ships set fire on several piers, warehouses, oil tanks, radio stations and coal warehouses. They were on flames, burning. During the bombing of Ancona, the city was in the middle of flame ocean and Ancona's electricity, gas and telephone lines were cut off in the bombing. Police headquarters, army barracks, military hospital, sugar refinery and the offices of the Bank of Italy in Ancona suffered severe damage. 30 Italian soldiers, 38 civilians were killed and 150 badly wounded. Later, the Austro-Hungarian fleet moved to bombard the Montenegrin coast. Italian ships arrived there to wonder what the f***, but the Austro-Hungarians and their ships had already left and safely returned to Pola. The surprise attack to Ancona was to delay Italy from sending troops to the Austro-Hungarian border by destroying critical transport systems. The surprise attack was successful and it delayed Italy from sending soldiers to the Alps with 2 weeks. This 2-week delay gave more than enough time to Austria-Hungary to strengthen the Italian border to move troops from Eastern and Balkan fronts. The bombings also dealt a serious blow to the Italian army and the public morale. After the bombardment of Ancona, due to the barrage of Otranto, Prinz Eugen was generally unable to participate in major offensive operations. Prinz Eugen mostly ended up defending the Austro-Hungarian 2,090-kilometer coastline from the islands of seashore for the next 3 years. The cases where Prinz Eugen left the port or lacks of battles are a good example of Szent István's career. St. Istvan did not get to join the bombardment of Ancona with her sister ships, and St. Istvan left the port very rarely. Expect that she left to Frasana Strait for firing exercises. St. Istvan only spent 54 days at sea. During her 937 days of service, St. Istvan spent only 5.7% of her career at sea. Rest of her career she spent in the harbor swinging in anchor. Anton Haus died of pneumonia on February 8, 1917. But despite that, it was decided to keep ships like Prinz Eugen in the port because that was Haus's strategy until his death. Due to the existence of Prinz Eugen and her sister ships, Austria-Hungary would be able to use them when need required to defend its long coast if there was an attempt attack to bombard the fleet or naval attack would take place there. By Prinz Eugen's and her sister's defense, the ports of Trieste and Fiume would remain undamaged and protected. Italian ships that were stationed in Venice were trapped there due to the deployment of Austro-Hungarian fleet. This prevented them from joining the Entente forces at the Dam of Otranto in the south. Admiral Maximilian Njegovan was appointed as the commander of the fleet. After this, the command of the 1st Battle Division, which included command of Prinz Eugen and her sisters, was transferred to Vice Admiral Anton Vilenik. Earlier, Njegovan had expressed his frustration when he saw how the ships under Haus's command were just standing in the harbor. After this, when Njegovan was promoted as the commander of the fleet, he had about 400,000 tons of coal at his disposal. However, he decided to continue Haus's strategy of keeping the ships in port just to ensure that Prinz Eugen would not see any combat at all. Prinz Eugen rarely ventured out of the port in the last 2 years, other than gunnery exercises and some important events she saw or witnessed while she was in Pola. These important moments were inspections that dignitaries did. The first visit that Prinz Eugen witnessed when Emperor Karl I visited Pola in December 1916. During Emperor Karl I's visit, he inspected Pola, St. Istvan and Pola's facilities but never boarded Prinz Eugen. Karl I returned to Pola in June 1917 in the first official imperial review of the Austro-Hungarian fleet since 1902. The third visit was made by the German Emperor Kaiser Wilhelm II to the German submarine base, which was specifically in Pola. The visit took place on December 12, 1917. Moreover, the only action of these visits between summer 1918 and Bombardment of Ancona, there were more than 80 air raids by the newly formed Italian Air Force. After the Qatar mutiny, which took place in February 1918, Admiral Njegovan was dismissed from the position of commander of Austro-Hungarian Navy. Miklos de Horthy Nagu Bania was promoted to Rear Admiral and appointed as the commander of the fleet. Horthy also was Prinz Eugen's commander. After this, Horthy finally decided on the regular departure of the Austro-Hungarian fleet from the port for maneuver and gunnery exercises. These operations were the largest operations what Prinz Eugen had seen a long time since the outbreak of war. The gunnery and maneuver exercises in question were not only conducted to restore order of the fleet after many failed munities, but also in preparation for major naval offensive operations. The strategic thinking that Horthy had differed from his two predecessors. Soon after Horthy had taken command of the navy, he also decided that he would undertake a naval operation that was extensive. This because he wanted to intervene in low morale and boredom and facilitate the transfer of Austro-Hungarian and German U-boats from the Adriatic to Mediterranean. The several months lasting exercises were finally finished and Horthy stated that the navy is ready for major attack in early June 1918. but that's a story for another time. And I was right, I have to put this documentary in 3 parts instead of 2. Because, as I said, Prinz Eugen's history is huge, and I hopefully in the next part can finally finish this and move to another ship where I can make a documentary for you. But if you like the video, just leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you are interested, but remember, nobody forces you to do that. I guess we are ready and we can stop this video here. Thank you for watching and we see you in the next video. My name is Fireiktronomia and we see you in the next video. Bye!